Hello, it is me, Anime Weird Wait Anime, and I'm here to bring you part 3 of What If Naofumi was the legendary bow staff hero. Oh, I want to thank you all for 107 subscribers. I'm so thankful. This year has been so good for my channel, and the new What Ifs and the new viewers have been so good to me. I thank you all so much. So as a repayment, I will keep on doing this. It's also what I really want to do anyways. um, but if you have any of you have any what if ideas about anything I've done, Naruto, Naofumi, Deku, or Asta, or if you would like to see Demon Slayer what ifs, put them down below. If you would like to, you don't have to. But if you would like to see it, I would be I would be glad. I'll gladly do it. If you would like to see Demon Slayer what ifs. Okay. So I might make a post on if y'all want to see a Demon Slayer what if, and just to feel it out, see how it goes. Maybe do two in a row to see how better I am. Like I'm gonna replace Naofumi if I do. Turn it into what if Tanjiro, and then back to Naruto, or I'll switch around. Like Fridays, like what ifs. Okay. If you would like to see a Tanjiro what if, put them down below. I will figure out a breathing style to do. Um, I'll probably put that in a poll so that you all can decide what you would like to see the most that he hasn't done. I'll put just like a random creation uh, of the breathing styles I come up with, and we will see what happens. Okay. Um, I won't be putting any of the like already canon breathing styles on there. If I do, it's gonna be my own like techniques, okay? Not already made ones. So yeah. So if you'd like to see that, either comment down below or after this is well, after you see this, go on my channel. There will be a poll of yes or no, or maybe. I'll put a yes or no poll on YouTube. If we get more yeses than nos, then you all want a Tanjiro what if. And by the time this Naofumi one ends, I will put up the Tanjiro what if with my next Deku and um Asta what if. Okay? Okay. I will be putting up the poll either way. So if you all would like to see it, I will also say this: the audio might be echoey, and it might mess up because my actually that's way more than I thought it was. I was at 50. Never mind. The audio might be echoey because I'm in a new recording place, a different recording place. This really should be what I say. Okay, I'm in a different recording place, right? So yeah. You know what? I'm gonna put this out. I've really realized about the waves in Rising the Shield Hero recently. They are so much like the not Wild Zones, the distortions in Pokemon Legends Arceus. They're so much like that. Like it's not a time thing with the distortions, but it is such a similar thing to the waves. I've realized now. Well, for the ones that have played Pokemon Legends ZA, not ZA, Arceus. ZA is Wild Zones, which ZA is awesome so far. I have it. I'm playing it currently. Um, Now, given I'm not far into the story, so please don't spoil anything for me. But I want to know your all's opinions, and I also want to know your teams. I picked Feraligatr as my starter. Well, Totodile, best boy. Chomp Chomp. You know what I'm saying? And I also bought the game physically, so I got the starting Ralts and the Gardevoirite. So I'm using Gardevoir. And I know a lot of people will say, "Oh, why are you using it? Is it because of the art or weird issue? Not weird issue with it. No, I just generally like the Pokemon. Hoenn is my favorite gym. It is the first one I've ever seen. I have a deep love for Hoenn and its region. My favorite Pokemon is Zangoose. It's from Hoenn. And I also feel this way with Lopunny. I know there's a lot of art about it, and well, all the Pokemon really. But I genuinely just do like Lopunny. I had a pet bunny when I was growing up. Okay, I love bunnies, rabbits. So I will always also. Sinnoh was one of the first games I had of Pokemon, so I will always hold a dear spot to Sinnoh and Hoenn, and it's great inspiration to me in my life. Okay, I know I just tangent, but I do this in every video. Okay, there's not a video on my channel I have not tangent on. I will say this right now. There's no video I have not tangent on. I have ranted on. I have an issue. Um, but yeah. Anyways, today we're going over the third wave and maybe the next arc. Maybe. I don't know yet. We will see how long it takes on this arc. But first, foremost, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get a drink of water, and I think you should too. Really hydrate or dehydrate. Um. Anyways, yeah. Let me get a drink of water, and then we can start this. I know this has nothing to do with the currently of the this current what if or anything near a what if, but I can't wait for Rustage's new song. See, when I'm recording this, it is Friday the 31st, Halloween. Uh, I totally forgot Halloween was today. Um, Now given Halloween is not personally my favorite. I don't truly like it, but I don't hate it by any means. I just don't go out and trick or treat. First, I have no friends. Yeah, and I don't. I just don't bother anymore. Um, Reasons. I just don't bother with it, so I don't really do it. Pretty plain and simple, honestly. I just don't do it. And now I know there's a lot of people who love Halloween, but I'm just not those people. Okay? I'm more of a Christmas guy, okay? Now, given I do like scary, like, stuff, don't get me wrong. I love it. I love cryptids, dude. Mothman, the goat. I love looking to this stuff. It's so entertaining to me. Now, people will say, oh, you know that's fake, right? You know you're nothing. Um, but either way, I love wrestling. And people will always say it's fake, but I will never use the word fake in it. Because people love movies just as much as I love wrestling, and I've gotten into many arguments about how wrestling's fake. Movies are fake too, so but that's entertainment. So is wrestling. I don't get where people get off on the whole entire movies are entertainment and wrestling isn't. Wrestling is entertainment. Um, right. I will never get people who say, wrestling's fake. Um, and there's so many issues like that I've been in my life. There are so many. I've talked to many religious people in my life because I live in a very religious community. Now, given I don't personally go to church, I do believe there is someone up there, but I don't go to church to worship a God that will never return. Now, given I'm going to piss some people off about that, I'm not trying to make you angry or anything. That's just my opinion. People are allowed to have their own opinion. Okay, I'm going to shut up. Okay, I'm going to shut up. Quit talking. Well, I'm not going to quit talking. Where this will be a very silent video. But yeah, let's get into it. So we can see Naofumi and his party being, as of right now, Philo, Sedina, Raftalia, and a princess known as Melty. Given Naofumi could really care less about her and just was going to get her back here and really just wanted to leave and train before the next wave. But clearly that was never going to happen with a guy with as dumb as Moteyasu around. Now wearing a jock strap, we could see Motoyasu running up to Naofumi quickly, yelling some nonsense at him about this or that. Naofumi is not paying attention at all, okay? He is just standing there. So as Motoyasu, with his spear in hand, would bring it down, Naofumi would look up at him and sigh and say, "Fine," as he would grab his staff, whip it around, spin it in the air above him, and hit Moteyasu's spear in a way where it would turn and free up like a big amount of space so that Naofumi could spin the bow staff back in his hand and drive it into Moteyasu's like gut. This would blow the air out of like gas him, just bring all the air out of him as he would crash down into the ground, trying to catch his breath. And Naofumi would say, "I would appreciate if you just stopped. Honestly, you're not gonna get anywhere. Okay, just targeting me, driving all your hate towards me. You're not gonna get anywhere. Okay." So I'd appreciate if you just stopped. Honestly, it's not going to help you by any means. Like, at all. So just stop and save you. Just save yourself, man. Just quit. As they would continue to walk through after after Naofumi would do that, they would continue to walk through. Eventually making it to the castle, and Naofumi would say, "I'm not going to stay here as long as I need to, longer than I need to, so there, I need to go to the church anyways, get something for Raptalia's curse anyways. Bye, these three curses. Bye, Naofumi. Mother's not going to like this at all." So she would continue to walk up into the castle as we go over to Naofumi and his party, heading to the church. Eventually, they would make it there with no issue, no hassles anywhere, right? But they would make it there safely. And as they would make it there, um, They would head in as the Pope would be walking down the stairs, turning to talk. Well, the two disciples of the church would stop Naofumi as they would say, sir, why are you here? My party has curses. And you could see Raftalia's holding on to watching. She wouldn't even been there. She would have been like in a bed. So he would say, we need holy water. Oh yes, the legendary bow staff hero. How are you? It's nice to meet you. Um, you said you needed holy water. Yeah, to treat a curse, say you. That's what I just said, yes. Okay, 1,500 silver. 1,500? Yes, for how much? For one bottle. And I see you need, well, since I've heard you had a party, but none of them are here. Yeah, I mean, given there's only one with a curse, the other two are there with her. I mean, one's walking with a princess, the other one stayed with her, so we only need one. So I'm willing to do this. Okay. Um, just give me time to count as you all get that. And so a disciple and the Pope would walk away down a corridor as one disciple would stay there. I believe it is called a disciple. I'm not sure. This is the only word that could come to mind about thinking about a church. Okay, a holy church. Okay, well, actually, it's not very holy if you think about the whole entire idea of its name, the Three Hero Church. So, yeah, it's not very holy. I'm talking about the one in the story, okay? Anyways, so the disciple and the Pope would return. After Naofumi would count out the stuff, he would hand a pouch of gold and, well, mixes of gold and silver, as he would say, it's a mix of gold and silver. I hope that's alright. It is, sir. Okay. As he would put it in the palm of the disciple, as the disciple would hand him the quote unquote holy water, he would examine it. He is not dumb. He knows magic ish. Um, as then he would say, I got a question. Why is it not it's not actual holy water, is it? Um, the Pope would say, oh, I'm sorry. Uh, please go get the actual holy water, please. But, sir, he's the. I know, but he's a paying man, so we have to respect him at that much. Okay, fine. She would rip the original bottle vial thing out of Naofumi's hand as she would stomp back there and grab the actual stuff. As she would turn, the Pope would say, I am very sorry about that inconvenience. I hope that doesn't deter you to not return. Oh, trust me, this entire place deters me. Not your establishment, just the kingdom itself. After framing me. Either way, thank you. So he would go on to walk away as the other two heroes, not Motoyasu, the bow and sword hero would walk in for their upgrades. As they would meet Naofumi eye to eye, Itsuki would say, Naofumi, Itsuki, um, what are you doing here? I was getting rid of a curse after somebody took down a dragon and didn't clean up the body. And by the way, that village you quote unquote saved by putting another guy in power, an even more corrupt guy, dealt with that too. Wait, so you're the reason we didn't get the rewards? No, your own stupidity. This isn't a game, this is real life. Ren, I know you're just a teenager. I know you two both are teenagers. But still, you should know better. This isn't a game, okay? We've seen people, before kick the bucket. I know you guarantee have the village you stopped by to take. Well, you didn't stop by. You just took down a dragon and left. Anyways, your own stupidity. The body still needed to be cleaned, Ren. And Itsuki, you can't just use brute force to get rid of one guy to put one into power. Okay? I mean, damn, I thought you were actually friends with him. Guess not. Either way, that's why you two didn't get the rewards. Your own stupidity. Now, next time you go to deal something like that, respectively, don't screw up. As he would walk away, Rin and Itsuki would stand there, dumbfounded, as them and their parties, their parties would get upgraded, right? And so with that, the we will time skip. During this time skip, Naofumi would treat Raftalia's curse, making it disperse, and yeah. So now, without that, without further ado, Naofumi and his party would be looking around the area. The wave will be. As they would make it there, they would find a weird opening into at the side of the mountain, a little higher up, like higher up, right? It would be a little higher up. It would be about the size of a truck, like a full size truck, not like the smaller ones, but a full size truck in length. That's how wide it would be at the opening. So pretty large of an opening. Um, so Naofumi would say, we might as well check it out. So they would find their way up there by climbing, or, two of them would ride Philo, jumping up there as Naofumi would climb up. Going throughout the cave, tunnels, there would be a corridor where it kind of shrinks, right? As it would shrink down in size and width and, length, not length, but width, so they would have to be in a single file line now. Sorry about the noise, it's my chair I'm sitting on. I'm very sorry. But as it would shrink in size and, well, not really in height. It would still be as big, as tall, but the width would shrink. At some points, it would open back up, but at others, it would shrink down. But after going through it for, I'd say, about a mile in length, they would find a opening, a lush cave with greenery and um, insects, and there would be a large pool of water that you could see crustaceans and, well, crab, well, uh, cave fish and, well, insects like centipedes and uh, other things like that would be, well, in this place. It would be weirdly lit in light because of these weird um, glowing vines that would be hanging from the roof, well, the roof of the ceiling of the cave with stalactites. Some of them would be wrapping around well, I forget the name, but the grounded but you know what I mean. The hanging sharp rocks from the top. There would be multiple large to small ones to medium, just a different array of sizes of them around the top, and some shooting up from the ground as Naofumi's party would walk through, looking around. They would eventually find bedding, not human bedding, but leaves and other stuff like that just hanging around. There would be remains of, well, large deer. Uh, at some point, they would find a remain of a bear that would be recently open and huge bites would be taken out of it. It would definitely would be weird. See, it would be no normal bear. It would be quite a large bear, not a size. I mean, a size known for the area, but not known to people. It would be a large bear, like the size of twice the size of a Kodiak bear. So 16 feet on its hind legs. It's like huge shoulders. The jaw would be broken, but the fangs would still be there. The claws on its feet would be about the size of a human forearm. It would be definitely weird for something that big to go down to whatever was living in this cave would be weird. There would be barely any. I mean, clearly the bear was cut open in some way. Clearly not human like, but it was definitely an animal, some type of beast in there. Maybe that it was watching them. Now, Femi, after seeing the bear down, would say, "Keep your guard up." As they would continue to walk around, eventually finding more remains of uh, deer and, well, animals like that. A huge boar, a just weirdly huge animals that you wouldn't really think would go down without a fight. Which to them, they would think, no way the thing that took them out didn't get hurt in the process. Which they would be wrong. See, after a little bit more walking around the cave, looking into the water a little bit, they would eventually sit down. Naofumi would say, "Remember, guards up, keep alert. Naofumi would start to look under leaves of new life, putting them into his staff. Um, he did take some fangs and fur from the bear and boar, putting them also in his staff, which there would be a weird staff waiting there for him, but he would need one more thing, which he doesn't have. He would have to wait and see if he would get it. Piece of a fur from a great bear, tusk from the wild carnivore, and something else. He's never heard of this. See, now, during this point, he has read up on the creatures around this area before he went into there, knowing what he would possibly have to deal with. Now finding this cave, and it wouldn't really match up to anything. There would be nothing on a cave reaching up the mountain in this area where the wave would been. He doesn't know. But the others would have sat down. Sedina would be keeping watch on one way. Raftalia would be fishing into the pond, body of water, pulling up some weird fish with one like long underjaw bite, like overbite. It would be weird. But still, looking through it, she would eventually cook it. Okay. But Naofumi would still be looking. Looking around their area, flipping over rocks, just finding random bugs he's never heard of, uh, multiple centipedes, spiders, and many more beetles, until he would find something else. A remain of a human body. See, their pack would still be there, not touched, except for the long, like scythe weapon, not scythe, but long slash through the back of the pack. The body would be ripped to shreds. The left arm would be gone. Well, the bone would be gone, so he's guessing the whole arm went away. The leg, knee up, well, knee below would be gone on one. On its left leg, the entire right leg would be gone besides the foot. Remember, this is all bones, not anything else. This body has been long perished by this point. The skull would be cracked directly in the middle. It was weird. There would be dried blood all around. Naofumi would start to get worried. So he would bring out the vibe staff and tap it on the ground, as then he would be able to see within the vibrations. It would be like the scene of I believe Toph from the Last Airbender Avatar, the Last Airbender, when she would tap the ground and would be able to see like the walls. It would be like this. Now, Naofumi would close his eyes, and seeing this in a blue and black color, seeing his party seeing multiple bugs and other animals, creatures, finding multiple more remains that would be semi there still. Like a quarter of it would still be in there, but nothing like this human remains would be there, or nothing like the bear or the boar. They would both still be mostly there, like they were fresh. This body would not have been fresh at all. If this has been there for multiple decades by this point, and the only things left were the bones and the pack that's still been there untouched. Weirdly, but as Naofumi would still be looking, it would finally reach the top. The vibrations, looking from left to right, there'd be nothing but remains of other creatures. No other bodies would be found. Human bodies, that is. But remains of a perished animal, creature would still be there. As it would reach the top, there would be something else. Something new, something alive. Naofumi would see this fanged monstrosity. It would be nothing he's ever heard of before. It would be hind feet, what he would think would be a deer or a goat or something of that kin with hooves. The front feet would be claws of a bear. As it would continue up, the body would be a mix of a boar and a bear. As it would get to the head, the head would be a human head. It would have a tail, well, two going here to fro, just licking throughout the air. It would have antennas of a bug going all the way around. The eyes would be blank. There would be no eyes. The eyelids would be shut. This all would look like, well, the head would look like it would just be a mask. Just a long piece of flesh laying on the thing's head. Naofumi would say, "We're being watched." Saint Daniel would say, "By what? I don't know. But personally, I'm not really a fan of trying to find out. Stand up and watch your back. You all stay in a circle." As he would yell out throughout the cavern, he would say, "Come on, I know you're there. I want to meet whatever you are." As then there would be a noise. There would be some type of, he wouldn't really know how to explain it, a roar of some kind. But the noise would come back again. Where are you? Where are my friends? Come on, come find me. This noise would go on, replicating the human voice. It would sound different, though. But either way, it would say again in a different voice than it was. Where are you? Hey, guys, where did you go? I need help. We're on our way. What? Guys? We're right here. They would hear a echo of a thing moving. They would hear the stomps, the steps on the ground. They would be light, but they would still be heavy. They could hear the grunts of it. They would hear the voice of the first voice. Oh, so you're the one asking for me. Oh, new friends! That's so nice! As they would go on they would still hear the noise of them running around the top. A splash in the water would happen. Naofumi would say, So Dina, watch the water. You're the only one who could deal with it if anything goes that wrong. I know. But that's not her voice. I know, Naofumi. Okay. Come on, face me. I would appreciate it. I'm done with this stupid, scary shit. Don't get hasty. Okay? Because I don't have the patience for you either, just entering my home. So I'll give you two choices. Leave now, or you all will perish like the other creatures here before. And then the stomps would come louder. The hooves would become more and more. There would be at least 4 hooves going around them all. See, Naofumi's a little bit by himself, while the others are there. All 3 of them are right there. There would be a flapping in the air. There would be something crawling on the walls. Something running through the cavern. And once something in the water splashing around. We will let you see us when you're ready. Tell us, will you leave or stay and perish like all the others? And Naofumi would say, I guess we'll stay, as he would pull out his staff, swing it through the air, and bring it behind him, ready to strike. Fine. You all will stay. Oh, yay! New friends! New clothes! So finally you made your decision. Now you are allowed to see us. Then a flash of light, multiple flashes of light would start flashing throughout this cavern. Everyone looking around, there would be the same monster Naofumi described earlier in front of him on the wall. A more bulkier version of it with the back feet of a rhino, the horn, well, two horns of the rhino, the head of a human. Well, not really. It would look like that at the front value. But if you looked around the head, you would see the two ears popping up of a dog. There would be spikes along the bigger one's back. The front paws would still be of a bear. The back would be a rhino. The tail of a mare, a big horse. A horse, okay. The one in the air would have a bird like beak coming out the front with the rest of its front half of its face looking like it ripped it like a face of a person. More feminine, more of a lady look. While the other two that I've explained so far would be male. One darker complected and one lighter complected. The one in the water, the back feet of a seal. The fin, there would be three fins growing out of its back. The tail of a feline, a cat. Fangs of a dog, a snout of a dog. The ears of a elephant. The face of a woman at the front. But around it would be a black matted fur-like thing of a platypus. While the tail would be a tail of a beaver. The front feet would be the paws of a beaver-like creature. It would have stripes going around the mid-body like a raccoon. Naofumi would say, "Well, aren't we honored? May we know what you all are." "Well, we are the lush monsters. I've heard people call us before. Well, but we just really want friends. Well, that's at least what I want. I would really like new clothes, though." As this one would be looking at Sedina, looking her up and down, eyeing her, licking her lips with the long, snake-like tongue. While the bigger one would say, "I want to have a feast. I want to have a real good feast." The one in the air would say, "Well, what my companions mean to say is we're monsters made by human flesh." You see, we were created by you foul beings called humans, and we were left in here with no way to get out until our friend, the bigger one, awoken and busted his way through the mountain we live on. There was people out there walking around, and he gored. We don't actually know what we are. All we know is that we're monsters. The bigger one would charge straight at Naofumi as he would switch into a new thing. Come forth, Dragon Tooth staff! A long black staff with scales covering the ends, with two large fangs covering both ends of the staff. Naofumi would spin through, will spin it very quickly. As he would say, well, I guess you're with me, huh? As he would charge at the bigger one and drive the front tooth under its jaw, making it look up, as he would jump up and say, Crimson Staff! As he would spin it around in his hand, as a big torrent of fire would scorch the front face of this creature. The other creature would go to attack Naofumi. The water one would begin to leap out of the water, but Sedina would say, "You're with me. Sorry, our lead. Well, Naofumi really likes to have fun by himself." As she would bring her harpoon to jab into this monster, which would have a long bone like thing would stretch out of its chest, just ripping through and trying to pierce Naofumi. But it would be blocked and snapped into by Sedina. While the flying one would soar down, being hit by uh, Philo in her filial form. The other one would have leaped down from the wall, trying to slash at Naofumi, being blocked by Raftalia. As Naofumi would be put back down on the ground, will jump back down on the ground. The bigger one would the spikes on its back would start to drive themselves back into the body of this beast. The body of it would start to crack and shrink. I see. You're good. So shall I show you my full strength? The roar, causing a massive debuff on everyone that would hear it, besides the other lush monsters. That's what I'm calling them so far before I figure out a better name. Okay. Once I figure out a better name for these creatures, I will be putting them on a post. Not a post, but I'll put them in the description at some point in time. If you'd like to do art of this, or if you would know anybody who would do it, please do. I pulled all this out of my ass. Okay, I just pulled it out of nowhere, out of my bag of holding, as I explained it. I had no plan on doing this. But I thought, there's stuff I could do for Halloween, and I'm gonna terrify the shit out of all of you. Because honestly, I have chills from doing the and just talking out of all these four voices. I made four on accident. And I'll make a post on more deliberating on those guys if you would like me to. Either way, I'm gonna put a post on their name, in the description and their subclasses. They all have their own special abilities, but we are only focusing on one. I'm not driving into all of them. Anyways, but as it would morph into this more slender and, well, maybe quicker one, more slender and thin body, more like a athletic, like runner, like a track runner or something like that. The horns would still stay there, but they would become more jagged. Now, Fumi would say, "Of course, this will be just fun, won't it?" And I probably will make an ability off of these guys, and they may return in another Naofumi series. Naofumi What If? Honestly, they're just so cool. I also just pulled it out. I might make a page on them, like a actual, like, in your on your phone you have the pages. I'm gonna make one on one. I'm gonna make them all. Uh, well, describing them, and I'll put strange screenshots in my community tab of each of them at some point because it will take me time to describe them and their abilities. They will be there. Anyways, as this would turn into a different beast entirely, noticing how Naofumi fought from that quick instant from the hit, it would realize, I need speed. It would roar again. A green energy would erupt from its body as it would poof. There would be no poofing. It would just fully disappear. Appearing behind Naofumi in an instant, Naofumi would be hit in the back by the horns. Well, yeah, horns. It would drive into his back. Naofumi would say, "Yep, should have guessed," as he would be thrown off of him into a massive boulder. As he would fall to the ground, he would get back up very quickly with his dragon tooth staff in hand. He would jump up, soaring staff, spin that around. A torrent of wind would blast out, blowing him away as he would land back on the ground after jumping up. Okay, yeah, this will. I really wish I didn't come in here. Oh, it sucks. Ugh, my back. Yeah, this is great. Just great. Flash, he would say, causing a mass amount of light to erupt from the end of his staff, from the tooth, like the front tooth, front fang of the dragon tooth staff. This isn't a dragon tooth staff like main ability, but it's there. Uh, as the this creature would run at Naofumi again, he would be blinded. Even when it's blinded, it would. It would disappear. Naofumi would look around, tapping on the ground. Found it. He would look up, jump up. The cavern would still be littered with light, so it would be a very bright, like, setting in there. So he would be able to see in there at this point. He would jump up, bringing the front tooth straight through this creature's stomach area, bring it through, and then driving it back down, throwing it on the ground, more like, as Naofumi would jump back, break a stalactite, grab it as he would start to fall down. Seeing how much of an issue Philo is having getting the air and the flying one would just dodge, Naofumi would throw the stalactite up and hit it like a baseball bat. It would fly throughout the air, piercing a wing of the flying creature. The wings would be like a bat wings, going straight through the wings into the ground. The one would be so offsetted by the weight, it would start to begin to slowly fall down. As Naofumi would then pay attention back to the one at hand, it would be gone. It would appear right above him, slashing him on the back. He'd be thrown to the ground. Shockwaves. Then we can see Naofumi bursting out of the dust, dragging two staff into the chest of this creature, ending it entirely, and then throwing him back to the ground. As he would fall with it, he would look around. He would bring out his vibe staff. As soon as he got hit to the ground, actually landed on the ground, vibe stab. A huge spike. What the hell is that noise? I think it's a plane. I'm not entirely sure. It's also not a pleasant noise. Hope y'all can't hear that. Give me 5 seconds. I'll be right back. I need to check something. Sorry about the door. Okay. That may have been like a power plant. That may have actually been some type of power plant. That totally did not terrify me. And I thought a plane was gonna crash or anyways. No, that didn't scare me at all. I hate Halloween. Either way. Naofumi would do that. He would go on to help the others any way he could to defeat the other lush monsters. I might just call them lush monsters, honestly. Either way, as he would continue, they would eventually make it out of the cave. Naofumi would rummage through the pack of the human remain, finding a bunch of money, coins, and gems, and a large tooth. Doesn't know what that means, but it means something. He would take it. Whatever it does, whatever it means. No, just leave. He was bleeding badly. He's injured. The others are not okay. So they would leave the cave, find a safer place, and rest there for the next 2 days. When eventually the third wave would happen. I've been doing this for an hour. I'll get this done quickly. Naofumi would be running through the area with his party behind him, heading towards a ship, a flying ship. Naofumi did gain a new ability after fighting the lush monsters. Well, his fight. From putting a piece of flesh, a piece of fur, and other things, he would gain a ability and a staff out of it. He would gain the blink ability and the lush monster, well, better known as the LM staff, which will be never brought up. I'm not doing it. That was purely for Halloween. Well, I mean, also there is the fact that I'm keeping the blink ability, but I'm not putting the lush monster staff because I honestly think we're good on staffs unless I think of a cooler idea, a cool idea. But he does have it if we ever get to the point where he's desperate enough and just brings it out. Just. Anyways, as they would all continue, they would see Itsuki down below, firing at the figurehead of the ship, talking to him about what's going on up there. They would go up there. Making it up there, seeing that two idiots just doing whatever. No, Raftalia, light magic. Okay. Using light magic to light up the area. Soul Eaters. Soul Eaters would erupt out of the shadows, and Naofumi would say, "See? Swear. These guys are idiots." Flash. Light would explode out of the front of Naofumi's staff as he would leap up and smash it over a Soul Eater's head, just driving it into the ship, ending it. As Raftalia, Sedina, and Philo would deal together. Swear, you all are more useless than lush monsters. At least they put up a fight. As he would start to dig at the Soul Eater's body, gaining the Soul Eater's staff. We might see that. Hey, what's the big idea now, Fumi? I was saving you all. First off, maybe some appreciation would have been nice. Oh, thanks, Naofumi. Thanks for dealing with that. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Woohoo. Oh, so I see we have a visitor. Everyone will look up above the area. Above them, seeing a portal open and someone to jump out. We all know who this is. This is Glass. I don't really need to explain who it is. After a swipe of a fan, the wind would blow. Everyone down. Just everyone. Besides Naofumi, who would drive his staff into the ship, and everyone else who was behind him So being his party would be right beside him and behind him. He would be standing his ground and just standing there with his staff within the ground. He would say, "You shall not pass." Yeah, he's gonna go full on. God, I don't know. I don't know. Lord of the Rings. Oh my God, I don't know it. Is it a Gandalf? Oh God, I'm not cultured in Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter. Okay, I don't even know. I don't know. All I know, I think it is Gandalf. I hope it is, or I'm gonna get flamed. I'm so gonna get flamed, dude. You are gonna burn me. I don't know. I know anime and Pokemon, dude. That's all I know. Either way, this would start up the fight with Naofumi and Glass. Naofumi would start with his Dragon Tooth staff, trying to slice her, well, jab her, uh, again and again, which would not work. She would just block or dodge out of the way. Eventually, he would slash Naofumi with the fan at his like stomach area, and then kicking him down the flight of stairs, well, the stairs, landing hard on his back. He would say, "I've never been kicked down the stairs before." Okay. He would roll out of the way as a blast of energy magic would be flying at him as he would dodge out of the way, saying, "Could you play a little bit fair?" As he would bounce back up and do some, well, jump backwards and dodge. As the other heroes would think, "Oh yeah, if that person is beaten down on Alpha, we can definitely beat him." No, you couldn't. No, you really couldn't. You really can't. Them getting blasted away by the whatever the first spell. I don't remember. I don't remember the first dance. I don't know. But either way, this would eventually lead to Naofumi saying, "I'm gonna use it. Come forth, Wrath Shield." Not Wrath Shield. Wrath Staff. Black armor would grow up on Naofumi's forearms, shins, and thighs. The chest plate would become dark as night, with spikes growing up at the corners and a little bit from the corners. As Naofumi would say, "Now you finally got me angry. Crown Burner!" He would attempt to hit um, Glass with this Glass rolling out of the way of the massive blast of fire and the staff coming at her. Now, Glass would say, "I think we finally found the one who actually matters in this. I guess you have. Blink." Actually, I'm going to rename it Lush. I'm going to call it Lush, maybe. Might as well. Yeah. Give a little homage to the Lush monsters. Saying Lush, he would instantly appear behind now Glass and driving the staff at her side. The spikes, well, actually, they're on the outside. Never mind. Well, wrapping around her, not really, but in a sense, picking her up, slamming her down. As Naofumi would say, "Broken cross." A cross would fall from the sky. Doof! wedging itself into the wooden floor of the ship, a bunch of ropes would start to grab um, Glass, tying her up on the cross as multiple spikes would start to stab into her, as a bunch of dark reddish flame would become a wall, a curtain to say the least, of this. But then wind would blow, as then Glass would say, "That was quite potent, but that was not enough." "Oh, of course it's not!" As he would start to swing his staff, not wildly, but he would be way different than he normally fights. Lush, appearing behind Glass, would realize this after the first time. Blocking it, twisting it, picking it up, and throwing Naofumi off of the thing as her time would run out. Naofumi would be falling, thinking it wasn't enough. She just played her. Lush! Appearing back behind her before hitting the ground and before Glass would leave, hitting her one time in the gut, picking her up, and thrusting the staff, excuse me, thrusting the staff away from him as he would, as the ship would begin to go down because of all the ruckus that's been happening. Naofumi would say, "You two, get on Philo and go." As he would begin to run to the head, like the head ship of the ship, the head figure of the ship, running and jumping off as Philo, as Sedina would catch him by his, well, not cape, but by the hand, as the rage, wrath staff would go away. Sedina pulling him back up, and, well, now for me, well, him and his team would dodge a tortoise cracker as they would escape. And yeah, that's where I'm going to end it here for today. I hope you enjoyed the semi Halloween special. I did only have Halloween like monsters added, but who cares? I hope you don't. But either way, I hope you return for the next part. I hope you enjoyed today. I'm not going to promise any more about the whole entire Lush monsters, but they will probably return in another Naofumi What If. So, I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye bye.